Hello everyone! Today for my card series video, I'm going to be using the Stocking Peeker stamp set from Mint Owl Studio. I'm going to be creating my own background, so I am taking the stocking that has all of the little stars on it, and I'm inking up the stamp with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm just going to stamp this entire background. I have a piece of white cardstock that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I'm starting with the stamp. This stocking that I stamped is going to be the only one that is colored in, and I'm actually going to be popping one up on top of it. So it's the one that I started with because I wanted to place that one exactly where I wanted it to go on the card. And then all of the other ones, it didn't really matter just as long as they built off from that one. So I'm just continuing to create my own pattern. I'm turning the stamp different ways and just stamping that, and it's kind of like a puzzle, so I'm trying to interlock them on my card. So once I finish this, I'll go ahead and kind of skip forward on some of this stamping just because it's a little bit repetitive. But once I finish that up, then that is going to be the background, like I said. So I just have a few more to stamp. And you can see I'm just fitting some in and stamping a few off the edge of the paper. So don't be afraid to just stamp a little bit on your card. Then on a piece of Coordinations 110-pound cardstock, I stamped a little kitty and then another one of the star stockings like I said before. So I'm just coloring these in with Copic markers. I'm coloring the stocking in with the R29, which is a really bright red color. And then I'm not going to do too much of a technique or shading on this, but I am just going to use the R39 to create a little bit of depth and dimension around the stars. So then I can go ahead and blend that color out. So I'm taking the R29 once again and just coloring in the entire stocking. It just kind of helps blend that darker with the lighter color so they look more like unified on the image. And then I'm going to color in the stars with a yellow, so I'm using the Y15. And then I'll go ahead and start coloring in my little kitten image. So I'm coloring this in like a gray cat. So I'm using the C1, which is a really light, cool gray color. It has more blues in it. And then I'm adding a little bit of shading on the cheeks with the C3, and then going in with one darker color, which is the C5. And I'm also coloring in the ears and the paws with that C5, so I want them to be a little bit darker. And then I'll go ahead and blend all of those colors with the C1. And then for the cat's ears and nose, I'm going to use a light pink color, so I chose the RV10. And then I fussy cut both of those images out with the white border. So to tie in with the yellow on the stocking, I'm going to spray my background with the Lemon Zest Dylusions ink. So I'm just going to spray this one time. So it's just going to be a squirt of yellow in the background. And once I got that working, I haven't used it in quite a while, so the spray nozzle didn't quite want to work. So once that's dry, I'm going to adhere that to a piece of red polka dotted paper that I got from Echo Park, the Holly Jolly 6x6 paper pad. So I'll just put my stamped piece of cardstock onto that pattern paper. And then I can adhere this down to my white A2 size card base. And I did end up cutting my stamped piece down a little bit, so that's 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and the red polka dotted paper is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So I have a piece of black cardstock. This is where my sentiment is going to go. I'm going to heat emboss this with some white embossing powder. So I'm going to ink up my sentiment with my Versamark ink. And then stamp that right onto my black cardstock. You won't be able to see anything since it's a clear ink, but once we apply the embossing powder, you'll be able to see it. And it says Meowie Christmas. So I'm using the Hero Arts white embossing powder, which is my favorite. I'll tap off the excess and then I can heat that with my heat tool to melt all of the embossing powder. So to the one end of my sentiment banner, I'm just cutting a fishtail. I'm using my scissors to cut that V. And then I'm cutting down a little bit on the edge since I don't want it to be so long because it's going to go behind my stocking. So now I'm going to assemble everything. I'm putting a little bit of glue on the edge of that banner and then placing my stocking right over it. And then I'm just going to make sure that it is straight. And then I'm going to pop that up on my card with some 3D foam squares. These are the large ones from Best Creation. And then, like I said, I'm going to line that up with the first stocking that I stamped, so you won't even see that one. And then I'm also going to pop up the little kitty so that it looks like it is peeking out of the stocking. Alright, so a few last embellishments. I'm going to use some of the snowflake sequins from Mint Owl Studio and scatter those around on my card base. And then I can adhere those down with the multi-medium in the matte finish. You could also use glossy accents or the Tombow Mono Multi-Glue to adhere those down. So I just squirted a drop behind each of the sequins and then I can press them down right into the adhesive. And then that is my finished card for today. So it's a little bit non-traditional with the colors, but I like how the yellow and the red tie in together. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you can see all of my latest videos, and I will see you back here next time. Bye!